Hello everyone, welcome back to Learning at Literary Lounge. Today we'll be diving into the themes of William Blake's powerful poem, A Poison Tree. This poem explores the effects of anger and repression as we have discussed earlier in the previous video where we discussed the poem in general and line by line, showing what happens when feelings are bottled up rather than expressed openly. So Blake uses the image of growing poisonous tree to symbolize how unresolved anger can just turn into something very harmful, impacting both the person that is harboring the resentment and the person towards uh, he is angry. Fine, so let us discuss the themes one by one. To begin with, the most important is metaphor. Clearly, metaphor has been discussed time and again in this poem, especially when we talk about nurturing it like a plant. I watered it in fierce night and morning with my tears. So, what did the speaker do here? The central, in general, otherwise also, if you see, so one is example being given here, then till it bore an apple, and it grew both day and night till it bore an apple bright. So the central metaphor of the poem is the comparison of anger with growing tree. So the speaker's suppressed anger is nurtured like a plant which is watered. So for a plant to nurture, we require water. What is used here instead of water? Tears are used. Also, fears are used. And eventually it grows into a poisonous apple tree. I hope this is clear. So the tree symbolizes how emotions can grow and become dangerous when not suppressed. Second figure of speech in the poem is symbolism. So the apple represents the speaker's build-up anger. Talking about apple. Apple is what? It is built up anger and resentment, and it symbolizes something tempting. But then, tempting, it's written right. So it's tempting, but it is deadly, much like the biblical story of Adam and Eve. Please read it to understand it better. The story of Adam and Eve, where the apple it led to their downfall. And the garden it symbolizes so apple, built up anger, and talking about garden. Garden is nothing but speaker's mind. Fine. So first is metaphor, second is symbolism. Let's move on to the third, that is imagery. Let me shift this a little so you get more space. Okay. The third one is imagery. So Blake uses vivid imagery such as watered it in fears, bore an apple bright. So while reading it, you can actually imagine apple which is bright and beautiful. So it helps the readers visualize the anger growing into tree. The description of the apple shining and the foal lying beneath the tree here also creates a clear dramatic mental picture. So clearly, all this is imagery. These three examples that I have given you here. Watered it in fear, bore an apple bright, and four outstretched beneath the tree. These are imagery. Moving on to the next figure of speech, that is personification. How is this how do we have personification here? So the speaker, he personifies anger. Anger, anger is an emotion, but it is treated like a human by giving it a human or nature by giving it a trait. So by treating it like a plant that can be watered, that can be nurtured. So this makes the abstract concept of anger feel more tangible and more real. You can water it, you can nurture it. So this is personification. Moving on to the next figure of speech, that is irony. There is irony in the fact that speaker feels. How does the speaker feel at the end? He feels glad. When is he feeling glad? He's feeling glad at somebody's death. How can he feel happy when somebody dies? There's an irony here. There is irony in the fact that the speaker feels glad at the death of his enemy. Although the apple appears beautiful and desirable, it is actually deadly, which adds an ironic twist to the ending of the poem. So, we read that it is attractive, and something which is attractive is generally considered to be nice for us, good, isn't it? But here it turned out to be something opposite. Rather, it turned out to be deadly. So the force destruction seems to bring satisfaction, yet it comes from a dark, deceptive source. So there is irony as well in the poem. I will quickly revise it with you. So we have metaphor, symbolism, imagery, irony in this, and also personification in this poem. I hope all this is clear. If you have any queries, please do let me know in the comment section. And yes, don't forget to read the story of Adam and Eve to understand the concept of this attractive, deadly apple. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Stay tuned and do watch rest of the videos as well. Thank you everyone.